Who doesn't like a good scary story? I've read a couple in my time, and they've actually been pretty good. Praised by peers and tutors alike, even from university. But what happens when you take a group of scary stories that were banned in the US and one of the most hit or miss producers of all time? You get scary stories to tell in the dark.
The Jangling Man is coming.
Now, what makes me the expert? Well, I'm a graduate in film and TV production. So you'd think I'd be able to tell the difference between a good film from a bad film. Right? And after going to the cinema several times this year, I started writing little reviews and putting them on Facebook. Just short little 3-line reviews. But I thought I could up myself. I could better that. So, got my camera, got a mic. Why not make a video about my reviews? Now, deciding which one was going to be the first one, took a bit of a digging. But I always thought it had to be a horror film. Definitely a horror film. So why not go with a film that's recent, in the public eye, clickbait, maybe, and a film that's got me really thinking. As in, really thinking. And here we are, the August 2019 release of André Øvredal's, hope I pronounced that right, Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, which were based off of the stories written by Alvin Schwartz, who was a widely feared and banned children's author for these stories in particular. You see, he believed that children were responsible enough to handle horror. They obviously didn't get that memo when Slender came out. Yeah boy. But his stories were written to be told, not to read alone. The reason is he assumed that his stories, just like myths, would have the reader add to the original tale. So that as it go on and on and on, it would grow and grow and grow into some kind of living, well, not living, but some kind of legend. Hell, even 2 stories within the film itself were based off of classic American ghost stories. No need for copyright when they're ghost stories, right, Alvin? Alvin! Now here is the interesting part. When developing the film, Guillermo del Toro, really hope I pronounced that right, otherwise that's really embarrassing, who produced and co-wrote the film, flat out refused to make Scary Stories an anthology, and thought to himself, let's use that idea in a scary way. The book reads you and writes the scariest story, and then you live it. And that way we can have a full story with characters. So how would you go about doing that? Well, you take a group of friends, put them in a small town, give them a haunted house, and you set it in the 60s. Well, the past. This sounds all too familiar. Well, let's not waste any more time. Let's just get on with it. It's 1968 in America. Nixon is about to be elected President of the United States. The military are drafting in young adults to fight in a war a nation is strongly opposed to. Oh, and this town is called Mill Valley. Mill Valley.
Great Scott!
However, just like many small towns, it is home to a mythological ghost story of a former resident, Sarah Bellows. There are several takes on the myth, but each contain one similarity. When locked in her house, Sarah would read ghost stories through the wall to children passing by who would ask her to tell her one. And if you heard one of her stories, it would be your last. So what do you think a group of friends decide to do after annoying the town bully and meeting a complete stranger in a drive-in? Yeah, let's go to Sarah's house. Sick. After locating a hidden room, the group realise it's Sarah's old room, and one discovers the book in which, as the myth goes, the stories Sarah would tell are written in children's blood. And thanks to the curiosity of a young girl, Stella, foreshadowing, she asks,
"Tell me a story."
And unknowingly awakens the tortured soul of Sarah Bellows, who, full of rage, begins writing new stories in her book. But as the group will discover, the stories are all too real. Nice one, dickhead! Stella is our lead for the film. She's lonely and self-tormented, blaming herself for everything due to the mother's abandoning her and her father. Her father, played by Dean Norris. She's friends with Augie. He's kind of uptight, but he's got a super hot mom who's only in one scene of the film. Wasted potential. Chuck, the clown, with some real issues he keeps buried down inside. And the 3 meet Ramborn, A troubled teen with a secret. Well, the secret is that he's a dull, boring-ass character who doesn't even need to be in the film, apart from having a bit of eye candy for Stella, who kind of maybe has a crush on him, potentially. Oh, it's weird. Now, obviously, I'm not going to spoil the ending for anyone who wants to go watch the film or has plans to go watch it before watching this. However, I will be discussing several elements of the plot. So unless you've seen the trailers and think, I wonder if these are the best bits, you're an idiot. Of course they're the best bits of the film in the trailer. It's a trailer, so get you hooked to it. Once Stella takes the book and asks for a scary story, Sarah's tortured soul takes control of the book, writing stories based on the group and those around them. Well, first you've got Tommy. Tommy is the town bully, and for some reason, he's always sweaty. Now Tommy, he's got a fear of the scarecrow on his family's farm. If you've seen the posters, you've seen the trailers, get a grip, you know what's coming next. See, I love Harold. I think it's a great idea. Classic scarecrow in the field. Maybe the scarecrow's alive. Ooh, maybe. You know, it's a great classic concept. But what's with that head? I mean, let's face it, the head was so that they could put someone in production so that they could run around the field a bit. But they could have made a better mask. Or they could have had just a better mask for him. It just looked Yeah, obviously it's supposed to be like a old Halloween mask that's weathered with time. You can obviously tell that. But guys, come on. He just looks a bit miffed about something.
Oh, bother.
Then there's Augie, which really annoys me, right? Let me put it like this. Augie finds a stew in his fridge. He's on the phone to his mum. He says, fine, I'm eating the stew. You don't get to hear what his mum says, but it's something along the lines of, what fucking stew? To which he replies, the stew in the fridge. Someone must have done it. Now, he goes on to eat some of the stew, which leads to the big toe corpse. However, earlier in the film, Augie keeps commenting on what Chuck is eating, saying, do you know how many bodies are in that? 7. You know how much stuff crap is in that piece of candy or some shit? So we obviously see from the build-up earlier in the film that he's very picky about what he eats. So you imagine walking into the fridge at night going, oh, what's this? I think I'll have that. And someone behind you going, yeah, we don't know what that's in there. He's just turning around and going, fuck it. It goes completely against everything that has been set up. And so I have no sympathy when the best effect in the film is pissed off when Sweeney Todd over here decides to chew on a toe. Now, she is the best effect. And I'm going to talk about the effects right now. The corpse missing her toe is the best. Like, she looks incredible, she looks real, it's brilliant. The CGI in the film sucks. Big time. The pale lady. From far away, you've seen the poster, you've seen far away, she looks creepy. And then the close-up happens, and oh boy, does she just look like the contents of Ruth's spot. Blatantly computerized, and it doesn't merge with the scene itself. It just looks weird. It looks out of place. Why couldn't they just hire a fat lady? And if you want to talk about the CGI, I noticed one thing when they first enter the Bellows house. If you're going to watch the film, keep an eye out for it. It's tragic. So they go up to this. So Stella walks up to this mirror, and the mirror shot starts off with a close-up of a CGI spider mixed within cobwebs. Now, when the focus goes onto Stella, obviously if you change focus, it goes a bit blurry, but you can still see the spider crawling. And when it changes focus to Stella, you notice the spider go blurry, and then just fades out, disappears. On spot. No, it doesn't walk off. It walks a little bit, literally turns a bit, gone. Like I said, the big toe corpse is incredible. However, later on, she turns into CGI and looks dreadful. And if that wasn't CGI, then that just sucked ass. Look at all the entities. Look at me using big words. Ain't all clever. Look real in the slightest. And none of them do. They all look cartoony, and it doesn't work. I mean, yes, the shot of the jangly man in the trailer looks incredible, but when he first appears, he just looks all gooey. Why is everything in this film so moist? Going back to it, take It for example. Sure, some of the effects may look cartoony, but they're kids afraid of a clown. That makes way more sense. They're cartoony, it's clown, gotta look like some kind of a circus. Most of the effects have to look cartoony. Now, if you've seen the trailer for It Chapter 2, it looks way better because they're older. Your fears, as you grow up, will mature with you. So even if you've got a fear of a campfire story, that being. You seem younger as a cartoon, but as you grow older into your teen years, they become more real. You can imagine the fur and the hair and the veins and the skin and the moistness on them. I mean, let's talk about the characters. They all suffer from the same thing. When it's their turn, they're highlighted like crazy. And when it's not their turn, you are not relevant whatsoever. You're literally like a Rice Gum video. You are no longer important and they feature nothing to the plot. Yet the two who take us through the journey are so bland, even when Ramon is comforting Stella, going, "Stella, it's not your fault." I'm not there going, "Yeah, Stella, come on, it's not your fault." I'm sat there going, "Yes, it was. You took the book. You know the myths better than anyone. You told us the myths. Why did you take the book? Why did you ask for a scary story? Why do you have to be such a cunt?" So in conclusion, I think this film has some great ideas. And it was smart not to go with an anthology and to get all these stories wrapped up into one. But it suffers from great stories intertwined with a bland plot, bland characters, and an ending that sort of implies that they might make a sequel. What? You're not going to go with an anthology, but you're teasing a sequel? Make up your mind. The story for me gets a 3. But the way they execute the film, that gets a 1.5. So this film gets 4.5 out of 10. If you want a recommendation from me, wait till it comes on TV. Seriously. Then you can get a group of mates around, watch it all together, and go, "Huh, why does he look moist?" However, if you have seen the film already, tell me what you think of it. Comment down below, or head over to my social medias. All links are down in the description below. If you have any suggestions of what you want to see reviewed, hit me up. And as always, subscribe if you're new, and hit that bell to keep up to date with whenever I upload. Thanks for checking out Reject Review. Whether you like it, or you don't, just let me know. All comments are thanked and appreciated. Catch you later.